Well, it's a good afternoon. Shippy the Explorer saying, hi, folks. Welcome back to this medium. We see both of us. We are going walking in the park yet again on a lovely afternoon. Well, I want to remind you this is Memorial Day. No, Memorial Day. And it has turned out to be a wonderful weekend. And well, a day today and the weekend. The weather is great. The forest is lush. Our mind is clear because we got to stay in late today for the first time in a long time, and so we are rested. Even young lady looking 10 years younger. Okay, so Shirley's gone ahead of me as I'm stopped to record, and see you. I'm trying to puff already, huff and puff, and such a lovely place. I don't know why am I puffing, but it's part of the experience, and shows that you're exerting a little stress on the body, which is good. So that's fine if you get up and go and walk a little bit and feel tired, and so that's also good. So where do we tape today? We can go by the river on the fall, and let's go over to the far end where we can possibly see the fall. Okay. There you go. The people are down the river, and they are enjoying the beauty of this place. I think I'm gonna go over that side where I can get a picture of the fall. It's a slight fall, but it might be interesting to see how much of that I can get and to enhance this video, because I have a serious topic to deal with today, and I have a question. I wonder why people say you're poor when you're not, whether individual or city or state or country. So that's the wonder that Shippy the Explorer. Quite a difficult topic, but I'm still gonna ask the question and see where we go from there. So here we are. We're gonna cut through this path and we'll make our way down towards the river. Yet again we are coming near Lake Artemission. Artemission is on the other side, and this is the Indian Creek River. And we just have to watch out for, of course, snakes. Snakes, buddy, snakes. But some guys are there fishing. Hola. Here we are. This river, they have river moccasin around the water area. They might be lying down quietly resting, but of course you just have to watch out. Here we are. So this will be the view for the video. As we set up, we capture the young folks who were observing the fall. So as we continue the taping the video beside the Indian Creek folks, where the Indians used to play maybe 400 years ago down here, you would find the guys, men and women and babies and things were running across this valley like crazy, you know, and the waterfall is there. We have created Park and Planning, they have created this fall, which is which is somewhat of a man-made thing, but believe it or not, there was fish down here, or there's fish sometimes down here. So as I continue this tape and ask this question, this topic is no joke, folks. This is a serious topic, and I thought twice of how to deal with it, or question it, or handle it, or execute it. But I thought I wasn't be prepared for this. But the question still comes to me constantly, because at Shippity Explorer we had what they call book fair on Saturday, the 23rd. On the Saturday the 24th of the month, and somebody asked a question. One of the topic questions that was asked, or the vision or the expression that the person put forward, is saying, why do I have to wonder, why does people, without we have poorness in the world, when there is so much abundance on this planet? Why are some countries are poor? Why are some cities are poor? Why are some individual families are poor? And why individuals are poor, seemingly poor? When is it a curse, or is it an organized trauma against the individual, or the country, or the state, or the city? And the question I said I have today to contemplate, or think about, if I can't pronounce the right word, is I wonder why some folks see us as being poor financially when we are not. Because it could be an impression that you have when you see people are without housing and infrastructure and food and livelihood and work. um, and play and family and all of that, and you say to yourself, somebody will look at them across the other side and say, you are poor. Maybe so when they are not, because a lot of times they have resources. But this is what, that's the question. And the person on the weekend at the book signing or the book fair was really serious of what she was saying when she asked that question. Is it an invisible force? Is it an invisible force that keeping individual countries poor? Is it an invisible force that keeping cities without infrastructure? You know, running water and electricity, you know, paved roads. And when you look across the world and see all these things that are happening to countries and cities and family and individual, you wonder, what is this all about? When we have ample resources, the water is flowing freely, and in this place you see the water is it has been running. We lived here for 40 something years, and I've never seen this river slow down. Never see it slow down to a bit. But this is what it is. After the rain or the flood or the heavy rain, it slows right back down to this steady flow. And if you look around, you can see where it is powerful enough to expose the rocks in the of the land. And so in the old days, I would imagine fish would be swimming up this stream. But let's go back to the question of poorness. I wonder why some folks see us as being poor financially when we are not. You know, we have individual making less than $1 an hour. Let's start out with that. You know, we have some places in the world, I think in some places of India. Some of you have to forgive me because I'm not going through the statistics that's put out by the World Bank. I used to see it, but I'm just going on a general thing. You have countries like India that people are working less than $1 a day. And they're working hard because they are breaking stones, crushing stones or whole concrete with the hammer, not with a machine or anything like that. They are breaking young babies, men, women, and kids. They sit there all day and they're breaking the rock so that when the construction people drive past with a van or a truck or a donkey cart, then they pick up that pile and they probably make $1, or they make €1, or they make some other money across the world, and they use that money and they collectively, oftentimes it's more than one members of the family, so you'll probably have the mother and couple of kids. Sometimes you don't see the fathers in certain situations. They are out doing something else, maybe mining or something. Yeah. Yes, they're out doing maybe mining or something like that, or they're bartering in the market. And then you have cities, infrastructure with poor running water, poor roads, poor building structure, no water, no running water, no electricity, no I said poor road conditions. And you have those cities across the road, across the world, the face of this earth. You know, you find them in sub-Saharan Africa. You find them in Southern America. You find them in Central America, a certain extent. You find them in You rarely find them in Europe. You rarely find them in Australia. You know, you rarely find them in China. But you find them in the Philippines. And you find people living in substandard living in the board house or the corrugated zinc house or the paper house, or sometimes they just live in a tent to survive. And they have, and oftentimes they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 6 kids. Man, wife, husband and wife, and 6 kids. And they have to be living on subsistence income. And why is that? Why is that? Because then let's go to the that's the individual, and then you have the city conditions, and then you have the countries with national GNP, gross national product, you know, with a low GNP, gross national product. They are struggling year in, year out, from one government to the next, from one prime minister to the next, from one dictator to the next, from one president to the next. And this goes on, has been going on for hundreds of years, and they are still poor. So the question remains, why? And they're not necessarily poor, because when you think of some of these countries, like I'm going to take one for example. I'm not getting into politics, but this is what it is. We have South Sudan, which it's rich oil, abundance in oil, and so as soon as they discover that, then there is war, and the threat of war and the disturbance between tribes, and the disturbance between one group and the next, ethnic disturbance, and then so they can't seem to be steady, and so they can collectively get their mind around these issues, because the disturbance, the killing and the laming and the uproar of keeping things in turmoil, and so they can't seem to be successful in getting their self together. The government, there's very little formation of government, because individuals want to have power, or a group wants to have power, and then the conflict is between two groups or more than that. And then you wonder who is financing all of these groups to fight, to produce weapons of war. And you wonder, Shippy the Explorer is dealing with a tough topic. And I'm just going from the social part of it, because I'm not going to touch on the political part, because as an individual in this hurt, I'm just wondering, why do we see them as being poor when they're not poor? And so we have to think also, what is it? Is it an indivisible power? Is it a structured part of the economy of this planet? Is it a plan of a group of powerful leaders, or people who are rich and wants to keep the unbalance of this country, these countries, all this earth. Can we put our hands to it? Can we put our minds to it and find out what this is all about? We seem like it's a difficult puzzle to solve. And you have the pieces right in front of your eyes, and it's hard to put the pieces together, because as soon as you put one piece together, you realize that another piece might be the solution to the problem, or another piece is the problem. And so you move from piece to piece, and sometimes you put a piece, when you're doing not crossword puzzle, but you're putting a puzzle together, and you try to force a piece into the collage, and you realize after about 10 seconds that collage doesn't accept that piece. So that collage, that idea that we have in mind doesn't fit into the structure of things. So let's see, what do you think are the solutions to poorness? And some of it is common sense. Some of it is get rid of the disturbance. Find a way of getting leaders who are responsible and who wants to collectively gather and reap the wealth or the resources of the country for the people of the country. Let there be great leaders who are honest to do the mining. Let's set people in the minefields to extract the gold. Let's set people to pump the oil. Let's set people to remove the diamonds and the uraniums and the cobalt and all the resources. Let a good leader or the government establish policies, that the government on a whole collectively set policies that you can establish and protect your fishery industry, protect your environment for the trees and the waterway, and get rid of that garbage that we seem to have pervasive across the earth. When you go into parts of Africa, I'm not putting any country down, but it's something I've observed. You can't even, you look down over the bridge and they said there's a river down there, river such and such. And when you look down, all you're seeing is this collective blanket of trash, plastic and bottles and old clothes and dead animals and debris of dead wood. And the water is just sitting there, cannot flow like this. This is flowing, folks. If you had this flow in certain parts of the country or the world, you would be much better. It would be so good. Because I've done cleaning in this river, and individually I've done so, take up the job of myself and get my water boot on and get my trash bag, and believe it or not, in 200 feet or 200 yards of this riverbed are full, 3 bags full of garbage. So the problem persists not only in poor countries, but it persists in rich countries. The garbage is really killing our societies. So that's one solution: get responsible leaders. And then you can handle this also from a religious aspect of it, because if you think of how the Indians and Native Americans used to think, they think that the environment is magnificent. We're supposed to be able to take care of the trees and the water and the animals, and we take enough fish to eat and we leave the rest. We kill a deer, or we kill, or we extract a buffalo from the herd, how we get that, and that is what we do. And we leave the rest. They leave the rest to support the whole tribe for year out, year in and year out. And so they have been doing that for hundreds of years until there is a change in the clash between cultures. And suddenly the buffaloes were almost gone. So we need a religious or spiritual solution to all of this. And if you look at Christianity or Taoism or Mohammedanism or Hinduism, then there's an aspect which teaches us to take care of the environment or the individual. So that's the religious or spiritual part of it. And then we have a solution to this is the greed that certain countries of the world, the leaders or the government of certain countries in the world, they are greedy and want to accumulate or control the wealth or the resources of this earth all for themselves. And whenever they get it, and they can get it free or illegally or legally at a low price, when they negotiate with just one tribe or one chief, or they negotiate with one government or governor, then if they can get the resources of the earth as cheap as possible, then they are making themselves prosperous, while the country that's producing, where the resources are coming from, they remain poor. So this brings us to the situation of this distribution. If you're having mining and fishing industry, why is it the people of the land, the people are still poor? Why? Because the collective sources are not being trickled down to the individuals. And why the individuals are not able to grasp a bit of those wealth? Because of poor education and poor understanding. So the low standard of education that is disseminated into the villages, into the schools, into the back bushes of these countries. And sometimes you prevent certain we call it the female from being educated. So there you go. And I think there's one time we were talking about some of the institutions, we were saying they found out that if you educate the woman, you educate a whole family. If you educate collectively the women of the society, you are educating or you're supporting the whole village. If you educate the women of the village, you are bringing up your tribe or your state up to a different level. And if you do that collectively as a country, then you're going to bring your country up as to the wealth, to be a wealthy country. Because women, for some reason, they understand how to share, how to divide, how to divide up and make sure the family is fed. So if they have $1 or $2 or $3, then they know how to manipulate that low income and feed the family. And so if you educate them and they're bringing in more funds, then you're bringing up your tribe, you're bringing up your city, you're bringing up your government, and you're bringing up the country on a whole. And then the whole world will be better off. And so, Shippy the Explorer, we're still having the question. Then we go on to another type of country that, say for instance, Venezuela. And I'm not going to touch on the Philippines, but Venezuela, that I understand, they have oil. Just like South Sudan, they have oil. Why are not they the most richest country in the region? Why? What is going on? I wonder what is preventing the government from bringing up, getting the oil extracted out of the ground and selling it at a reasonable price, and let the resources come back into the country as beneficial financial help for the entire country. Why are they poor? I'm asking the question. And some of the solutions I don't have as an individual. And that's what came out of the reading this past week. Individual, state, cities, countries, this whole world to a certain extent seems to have an imbalance of wealth, of poorness and richness. Poorness seems to be collected into many places, and richness seems to be collected, or is a standard thing, in just a few. And we have to wonder, what is that all about? So Shippy, we look at the flowing river of the Indian Creek, and so we're still contemplating that question, folks. But since we are small fish in the river, and just an individual asking a question, I can only give my opinion of what this is all about. But the solutions I give, those are, I think, my opinion, and I think some of those are workable. And then there's another one that is the individual. When it comes to the individual people or person who seems to can't get out from under the economical situation in life, then sometimes you may want to consult your minister or somebody in the community who seems to be doing better, and say, what are you doing that I'm not doing? Don't get jealous and say, I'm gonna follow them and then start a shop because their shop is doing well. Go and sit down with them and ask the question, why are my shop is, or say, do you think I should start a shop? Or maybe you're afraid to say that because you think they're gonna think you have a competition going on. But honestly, if you ask certain persons who have an industry going, they have their fishing boat is bringing in more fish than yours. Their shop is attracting customers more than yours. You know, their transportation service is attracting more passengers than yours. You are a builder and the other construction firm is doing better than you. You can sit down with one of those persons, one of the leaders in that industry, and ask them honestly what I need to do to succeed. And if they're honest and fair enough, they would probably tell you, they would most likely tell you, because, but sometimes you have to take that opinion and wait, think if it's good, if it suits you, you know, because their industry or their shop or their transportation system, it might be just doing better because of the individuals that are running it. So you're the persons who have, say, an haberdashery, and you see people are flocking that store, and you walk into that store, you look at the customer service, and you see that they are vibrant and they're friendly, and as soon as you walk in there, they offer their service. They don't lean back and hide behind the counter. They offer the service, and as soon as you offer the service, you just start back. As soon as you get the answer from the person may react and say, "Oh, I'm just looking," or can you help me with this? Or then you step forward and try to help, and then you try to help the person. So oftentimes that success comes from education, common sense, the way you treat customers, the way you present yourself in life, and of course smartness, and of course the luck that's often goes with it. And then you put all of that together, and then you put faith on top of that, and oftentimes with the support of a good health and people, you sometimes succeed more than what you're doing. So don't be poor all the time. Try to solve the problem. Shippy the Explorer is saying, don't be poor. You don't have to get rich to it, because sometimes enough money to support the family is just enough, because it makes you contented and happy. So go out and explore the possibility of getting to the level where you feel financially stable or comfortable in this world. This is all for now. Tough questions also requires tough answers. But Shippy the Explorer, just touching the surface of it, say, next time we take something easier, walk good, take care of yourself. Bye for now. From the river hedges of Indian Creek. Take care. So here we go. How do we get out of the river? I guess I can walk up. Whew. Wow. No, I walk up the other side, but it looks like I can come down here. I can come up. Okay, a bit of practice. A lot of people come here and turn back, you know.
Oh.
Come right here and turn back.
I see you and turn back.
You see me? They come to watch the river from here.
Oh.
But this is the drain.
You want to hold that for you or you want me to help you?
No, I'm coming up.
want
See
me
you
to
there.
hold it?
Yeah. Bye.
Have a little bit. Oh my God, I tell you, age is something else.
Disappear, you know. The water.